What Pirates of Silicon Valley, 1999, can teach us about building a business. All right, my lovely lot. Emily Bennett here, and today, we're diving into a film that I reckon has more to teach us about business than any textbook, Pirates of Silicon Valley, 1999. Now, let me set the scene for you. Just the other night, I was helping my husband James manage a bit of a sticky situation at his company. We're in the middle of sorting out some deals, and let's be honest, business can sometimes feel a bit like a pirate ship, can it? You've got your ups and downs, rivalries, and the occasional naughty bit of scheming to get ahead. It got me thinking about this film, which tells the story of the early days of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, the original pirates of the tech world. It's full of cheeky moments, bold moves, and some questionable tactics, but more importantly, it's packed with lessons for anyone trying to build a business, run a company, or just navigate the competitive world of entrepreneurship. So, grab a cuppa, because we're going to break down what Pirates of Silicon Valley can teach us about building a successful business, with some fun stories, cheeky examples, and a bit of British banter along the way. 1. Bold moves, take risks like Steve Jobs. Let's start with Steve Jobs, the ultimate risk taker. The guy was absolutely fearless when it came to making bold moves. From the very beginning, Jobs wasn't afraid to shake things up and go against the grain. He didn't just want to build a better computer, he wanted to change the world. And that's the first lesson here. If you want to make an impact, you've got to be bold. Back to James and the company. We had this moment where we had to make a pretty risky decision about expanding into a new market. The safe option? Stick to what we knew. But after watching Pirates of Silicon Valley, I reminded him of what Jobs would do. Take the leap. The result? It paid off. Sometimes you've got to ignore the voices telling you to play it safe and go all in. Jobs didn't care about playing by the rules, and in business, sometimes you've got to do the same. Take risks, break the mold, and be fearless. Because in the world of tech, and business in general, playing it safe just doesn't cut it. 2. Scrappy and clever, the Bill Gates approach. Now, let's talk about Bill Gates, because while Jobs was all about bold vision and flashy moves, Gates had his own scrappy, clever way of getting ahead. He was strategic, calculating, and a bit naughty if we're being honest. Remember how he secured the DOS deal with IBM? The man didn't even have a product at the time. He just bluffed his way into the contract, then went out and bought the rights to the operating system he'd promised. What's the lesson here? You don't need to have it all figured out to make a move. Gates understood that sometimes you just need to get your foot in the door, and the rest will come later. I remember a similar situation with James and his company. There was a big client on the table, and he was hesitant to go after them because we weren't sure if we had all the resources lined up. But I said, think like Bill Gates. Just get the deal, and we'll figure it out later. Sure enough, we secured the client, and it gave us the motivation and the funding to get everything sorted. Sometimes you've got to sell the vision first and build the product later. It's a bit cheeky, but if Gates can do it, so can you. 3. Competition is war. Don't be afraid of rivalries. If there's one thing Pirates of Silicon Valley makes crystal clear, it's that competition is war. Jobs and Gates weren't just rivals, they were fierce competitors, constantly trying to outmaneuver each other. But instead of being afraid of competition, they embraced it. In business, you can't be scared of a bit of rivalry. Competition keeps you sharp, forces you to innovate, and pushes you to be better. It's like I always tell James when he's worried about the competition. Embrace it, love. It's a good sign that you're in the right game. There was this one time when a new company popped up, offering similar services to what James's company was doing. At first, it felt like a punch to the gut. How were we going to keep up? But instead of backing down, we used it as fuel to up our game, improve our product, and focus even harder on what made us stand out. By the end of it, we were stronger than before, and that competitor? They're long gone. Just like in the film, where Jobs and Gates constantly try to outdo each other, remember this. Competition isn't something to fear. It's something to thrive on. 4. Innovation over perfection. Build it, then improve it. Another brilliant takeaway from Pirates of Silicon Valley is the idea that innovation beats perfection. If you wait until everything's perfect, you'll never launch. Jobs and Gates both understood this. They didn't have perfect products when they started. They had good ideas, and they got them out into the world as quickly as possible. James and I had a similar experience with his company's first product launch. We were so focused on making everything flawless that we almost delayed the release. But then, I remembered the lessons from the tech giants. Launch now, improve later. If you're waiting for perfection, you're losing precious time. You can always tweak and improve as you go. Take the iPhone, for example. The first one wasn't perfect, but Jobs didn't wait for it to be. He got it out there, and every version since has been an improvement. Innovation is all about taking risks, moving fast, and improving as you learn. So, if you've got something in the works, get it out there. You can always fine-tune it later. 5. People matter. Build a strong team. Let's not forget one of the biggest lessons from Pirates of Silicon Valley. The people around you matter more than anything. Both Jobs and Gates surrounded themselves with talented people who shared their vision, and that's what helped them succeed. But, and this is important, you've got to treat your team right. In the film, you see how Jobs, for all his brilliance, could be a bit difficult, shall we say? He drove his team hard, and sometimes that worked, but it also burned bridges. Gates, on the other hand, built a loyal crew that stuck with him through thick and thin. I remember one time when James was managing a difficult project, and there was a bit of tension between him and one of his top developers. The pressure was on, and James, bless him, was getting frustrated. I stepped in and reminded him, it's not just about getting the project done, it's about building loyalty with your team. He took a step back, reassessed how he was managing things, and ended up with a much stronger team dynamic. The point is, your business is only as good as the people you have with you, so make sure you're building a team that's loyal, motivated, and feels valued. 6. Know when to take a break. Even pirates need a pause. Now, here's the cheeky bit. While Jobs and Gates were hard workers, let's be honest, they knew how to have a bit of fun too. You can't be all work and no play, right? Running a company is intense, but if you're not taking breaks, relaxing, and letting loose every now and again, you're going to burn out. James and I have our fair share of naughty breaks in the middle of stressful times. A quick getaway, a cheeky afternoon off, it's all about balance. Even when things are tough, a bit of time away from the grind can give you the energy to come back stronger. So, whether it's a long weekend away or just an afternoon of doing something completely unrelated to work, make sure you're taking time to recharge. Even pirates need a bit of a breather now and then. So, there you have it. What Pirates of Silicon Valley can teach us about running a successful business. From taking bold risks like Steve Jobs, being strategically scrappy like Bill Gates, thriving on competition, valuing innovation over perfection, building a strong team, and of course, knowing when to take a cheeky break. It's all about finding your own path and doing what it takes to succeed. What do you think? Have you learned anything from Jobs and Gates? Drop me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on business, strategy, and everything in between. Cheers for watching, and remember, every business needs a bit of pirate spirit.